Hello and welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report on GoHofstra.com. I'm Jim Sheehan, joined today by Hofstra wrestling coach Rob Anspach. Happy holidays, Rob.
Thank you, same to you.
Last week, 2 wins in the grapple at the Garden. Heading out to Las Vegas this week for the Cliff Keen Las Vegas Invitational. Let's start last week at the Garden. First of all, what kind of an experience is it going into Madison Square Garden, especially the refurbished Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great venue. You know, the guys get excited. As a coach, I'm excited to be there, wrestling in that type of atmosphere with the teams that they've brought in. They do a first-class job of making it an event, which is something the sport needs. And, you know, just the introductions, you're walking out, the pyro's going off, and it's just an exciting feeling. It's a great atmosphere. The guys look forward to wrestling in it each year, you know, at least the past 2 years, and it's something that I hope they continue doing for the foreseeable future.
Now, the day started with obviously high schools and PSALs, even some youth leagues as well, and then it gets to the main event, which was the college event, but they also had USA Team Wrestling in there. How was that fitting into everything, do you think?
Well, you know, it was, you know, from strictly a logistics standpoint, there's a lot of stuff going on. So, you know, you're sitting there trying to figure out where you're supposed to be. You know, you got weigh-ins, and there's a lot of things that go into preparing for a match. So, you know, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to get everybody involved, you know, to beat the streets and just make it a completely inclusive event, and it is great. But you know, there is when you are involving that many people into it, there's a lot of people running around. It's a little chaotic in the beginning. Once it gets going, you know, you would never notice it from the outside, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of things happening. People flying all over the place, so it gets a little crazy back there.
All right, let's get to the mats, and Hofstra facing Army and BU, 2 EIWA opponents, beginning with Army, the Pride jumping out to a quick 16-0 lead after 4 weight classes. Tell us a little bit, how comfortable did you feel after a 16-0 lead?
Well, we were feeling pretty good at that point in time. You know, we know our strength is in our lower weights, and then once again they went out and did a fantastic job with Jamie, Jamel, Luke, Cody going right out there, dominating the competition, and just, you know, staking the team to a comfortable lead. And then it comes down to our upper weights trying to get some wins up top. You know, Joe Booth usually is a guy that we can count on that gets a win for us up top, and then we're still looking for some other guys. I thought at 74 we did a pretty good job wrestling that match. I think that's a quality kid. We were in that match to win it. We just need to get a little bit more confidence. I thought the one match that was a little bit disappointing to me was at 184 pounds. You know, win or lose, one thing you cannot do is give up bonus points, and we did that in that weight class, and it made the match a lot closer than it really was. Now, again, you know, excuses are what, but we didn't have our starting guy in there. He was, you know, coming off an injury, but it doesn't matter. We let the guys know that you can be called into this lineup at any point in time, and we expect you to compete at a high level, and we didn't get that done at 184 pounds against Army, and again, it made the match a lot closer than it really should have been. On paper, you're looking at it as a 23-16 match. It looks like it should have been a good dual meet, but in reality, when you think about it, it wasn't even that close.
And Luke Veit with a full victory and major decisions by Hudson and Booth. Like you said, the lighter weights carrying the team right now. But going into the final match, heavyweight, Michael Hughes, freshman, coming up big.
Yeah, that was a big one for us. And, you know, we were sitting there, and I'm watching. We had wrestled their heavyweight to New York State, so I felt pretty good going into the match because we kind of dominated that match. And then I saw him warming up another guy. I'm like, oh, they're going to try and, you know, pull this out. And they bumped up a guy to wrestle Mike that had some quick shots and things like that. And, you know, it's the second time a match has come down to Mike in his short career so far. The first time it didn't go so well. This time he did a great job pulling out the win and you know, really, you know, just taking us home.
Now the second match of the day at noon, Boston University, a 35-6 win. Obviously everybody knows that BU is going to discontinue their program at the end of this season. Venerable old coach Carl Adams, great coach in the sport. It must be a very difficult situation for not only them, but for the coaches that coach against them.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you know, you see a program and you know it's unless something miraculous happens here in the next couple months, you know this is its last season. And again, we've been with Carl. I've been with Carl since 1996, competing against him and then coaching against him in the same conference, and now moving to the EIWA. They're with us right now. So it's disappointing. It's sad. You hate to see any programs leave, especially one that has had some pretty good success, and from what they've been given by the administration and everything like that, they didn't really have a chance to be that successful. When you go into their facilities and you're seeing everybody else in the country, it's no wonder why they're not competing at the highest levels. But they still got quality guys in their program, and for them to know that this is their last year unless they transfer and things like that, it's got to be tough for them to get excited about wrestling and events, and it's got to be tough for Carl to go out there. And then for us, it's one of those things where you don't want to throw salt in the wound, but we have to get our guys prepared, and we got to win matches and get our guys ranked. So we have to go out there and take care of business when it's match time, and afterwards we can feel sorry for them and try and help them out in the things that we can do. But when it's time for the competition, there's really no room for that mentality. So that's kind of what we did, and the guys stepped up to it and did a great job.
Winning the first 4 matches, 3 bonus point wins, 19-0 after 4 weight classes. I wouldn't say the team let up by any shape or form of that match, but falls by Franco and Hudson and a major by Luke Veit. It was over early.
Yeah, they did, and I think the thing I liked about this match is that Boston's has good guys in the lightweights, and it just showed how good our lightweights are when they're on. Jamie Franco beating McGinley, the kid's been around for a long time, couple-time conference place winner in the CAA, and he went out there and dominated that match and got on it and stayed on him. I was really looking forward to the 133-pound match. The kid Harlow, national qualifier last year as a freshman, and we just have really some high expectations for Jamel. And so I was looking forward to that match, and he went out there, got a takedown, and he did exactly what you do when somebody gives you an opportunity to end the match. You end the match. And he did that. And Luke, he just has been so dominant, so consistent this year. We just want him to continue doing that. And Cody, again, just really showing that he's healthy, finally, for the first time. Had a whole season under him last year. And we're starting to see the kid that we recruited out of high school just doing a great job.
Yeah, you beat me to the next question. While Franco and Hudson and Booth and Veit are all doing very well, Cody Rogerello seems to be the forgotten man, so to speak, and he's wrestling very well, as you said. Yeah,
he's doing a great job. His 2 losses this year have been to, or I guess he has 3 losses on the year, or a couple losses, but it's been to quality, returning national champion, returning All-American in Nybert. Chris Villalonga, a guy that was a very, very quality kid from Cornell. Those are his 3 losses this year, and he's been in all those matches. He's wrestling hard. He's getting to his leg attack. He's just, he's quietly, nobody's really talking about it, because I guess he didn't come in with all the hype that some of these other guys did, after the season he had. But we saw last year him starting to round into form by the end of the year. He placed 3rd at the conference. He started looking good. He was wrestling top guys really close, and now he's continued that this year, and quietly he's just cruising along. He gets his takedown, he gets on top, and when he is on top, I don't care who you are, he can end it.
And we wish BU the best of luck. But heading into this week, Las Vegas, and you're here, and the team is out in Las Vegas. 33 teams at the Cliff Keen, the 32nd annual Cliff Keen Las Vegas Invitational. 12 teams in the top 25 bringing their wrestlers in a tournament format. Number 5, Oklahoma. These are rankings for this week. Number 6, Northern Iowa. 7, Nebraska. 8, Iowa State. 11, Cornell. 12, Ohio State. 14, Oregon State in the top 15. So those are some pretty tough opponents.
Yeah, it's a great test for us early on. Again, we put our schedule a certain way so that we're ready to go at the end of the year. And we've wrestled top teams in dual meets, and now we're going to see a plethora of teams in the top of the country in a tournament-style format. And I got Coach Tonelli out there. He's going to be fighting for some of these seeds tomorrow at the seeding meeting, and trying to get these guys some spots. But this is what the guys really need to see where they are. From an individual standpoint, where is Jamie Franco? Where is Luke Veit? Where is Jamel Hudson? Where is Frank Affronti? Michael Hughes? Every single guy, Joe Booth. Where are we? Where are they individually? and then we can see what we are collectively as a team tournament. We know where we are from a team standpoint in dual meets. This will be an interesting test to see how many of these guys can score some points and get into those placing rounds, which is what you need to do to have a good tournament showing.
And 2 years ago, we competed in the Las Vegas Invitational. It was a 9th place finish out of 34 teams. What are you looking for?
Well, like you said, this is a loaded field again with 12 teams in the top 25. So I would look for something in the top 10 to see where we are. Again, you know, we have some injuries, so we'll see how those guys play out, to see if they can actually do what I think they can do with Joe and Dwight, to see where they are. They're not going to be 100%, but you know, if they're 70, 75%, let's see what they can do out there. And then from an individual standpoint, it's going to be another test for these guys to build a resume for the seeds at not only conferences, but to help get our conference national qualifiers. You know, these tournaments are huge. When you wrestle the Pac-10 and the Big Ten, you got Ohio State, you got Nebraska, you got Iowa State from the Big 12, or you know, so it's. When you're seeing those kind of types of teams, you can stamp yourself, you can stamp your way to the national tournament with a good tournament, with a good couple of wins, so I want to see what the guys can do out there.
Well, best of luck this week, and we'll talk to you next week to recap that. And we thank you for watching the WB Mason Coaches Report with Coach Rob Anspach. And just a reminder, we'll see you next week right here on GoHofstra.com.